Hello, everybody, and welcome to Atheist Sunday School, your one-stop shop for everything Atheist Sunday and School. And boy, do we have a show for you today.
You know, I was going to start off the show today by saying, hello, everybody, and welcome to my nightmare, but I forgot.
You forgot?
Yeah, forgot to say that.
You know,
hello, everybody, and welcome to my nightmare.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lawrence's nightmare.
I prefer your normal intro, but I'll agree.
You don't like my nightmare?
It's fine.
Oh, okay.
I think this is Landon Knoll's favorite universe, and subsequently Lawrence's least favorite.
Yeah, this is my least favorite. This
Yeah.
one sucks.
Yeah, if there are alternate universes, this is Lawrence's least favorite.
Well,
Sorry, man.
So let's start with some announcements.
well, why don't we start with the 100-point show?
Or announcements.
All right, I don't really care what we start with.
Okay.
100
I
points
guess we
announcements.
can do the 100-point show.
No, let's do 100
Okay.
points announcements.
No. All right. Now, anyone who watched the video will get this question right. Anyone, and if you haven't seen the new video on the afterlife in ancient Egypt, you should watch it. I think it's pretty good.
Yes.
What is the earliest map of the underworld in ancient Egypt?
I don't remember.
Ah, come on.
It was somewhere in your video?
It was somewhere in my video.
Man. So it was on some tablets.
No.
It was on a wall.
No.
It was on some papyrus.
No.
It was on some parchment.
No.
It was.
Can you stop guessing mediums for it to be written on? Was it not written?
Was it not written?
It was written on in a coffin.
In a coffin.
Yeah.
I said walls.
That's not a wall.
There's walls in a coffin.
It's not. It's on the bottom of the. You know what? You got it wrong.
Sarcophagus.
Jonah gets it right. It's the Book of Two Ways, and it's on the bottom, on the inside of every coffin.
Yeah.
Or not every coffin, but
Most.
that's where it is. The Middle Kingdom ones. So you got that wrong. What's your question, Ruben?
You lose 100 points.
What's my question?
Yeah, your 100-point show question.
What's the name of the founder of Kyokushin Karate?
Joe Bob.
No.
Damn.
Masoyama.
Okay. Never would have
no one would have gotten that. I wasn't even going to try.
Wouldn't get that.
Someone's calling me. It's my grandparents. Fuck that. I'll send them to my voicemail. And my voicemail is
You.
It's an Archer voicemail.
Wow.
So if you guys have seen Archer, I'm going like hello, hello, and at the end I'm like elaborate voicemail.
Yes,
It's not very nice.
It's not very nice. It's
No, it
quite
isn't.
obnoxious.
It really is.
I just don't even call you. I text you now. That's it. Because I'm just like, yeah, I don't want to deal with that. I mean, it has to be worth my time to call Lawrence.
All right.
Call Lawrence.
So, 100, but not we just did the 100-point show.
First of all, what is our donation drive at?
$104.29.
Well, that's more
Alright.
precise.
That is more precise, yes.
Excellent. Now we have all the tools ready for the demon summoning thing.
We do.
Yes. We just need to record it.
And we need to draw the huge.
Yeah,
Whatever
there's
it's called.
huge.
Oh, hey,
detailed
guys.
Magic symbols.
You included in announcements is the wheel, right?
Yes. Yes. So we are doing. Let's do the wheel first. So all patrons $10 and above
Yes.
are entered into a monthly T-shirt giveaway.
Yes.
So since this is a new month.
And we have a new T-shirt.
Yep, and that's right. We have a new T-shirt. We can do that. We can do that. We can spin the wheel. So, Chris,
Yes.
why don't you
I'll try.
spin that wheel? And you got to tell us what it lands on.
Okay, it's spinning.
Okay.
What's it spinning to?
Jacob.
Jacob.
Jacob. All right.
Never had
Congratulations, Jacob.
Congratulations, Jacob. You've won.
You have won this game of chance, Jacob.
Woo.
You get a T-shirt.
You get a T-shirt with this image. Here you go.
It's a fantastic image, I think.
I like it.
Incredible. So beautiful and
No
awe-inspiring.
one will know what it's about, and they'll ask you. That's what the fun of the shirt is.
All right. And then some announcements before we hop into the show. The Dan CV video is coming up. And also the summoning is coming up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're going to be making the occult Nazism video.
Yep.
So there's stuff in the
In
near
the works.
future.
Some big stuff in the works.
Big stuff.
Yeah, and then I'll probably, after I'm done with the Dan CV video, I'm going to get started on the final Forged Fiction.
Oh.
On Revelation. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well,
Incredible.
that should be fun for any of our viewers who have been with us for
A
the
while.
duration of Forged Fiction.
Yeah.
How long has that been running?
A while now, 2, maybe even 3 years. Yeah, I don't remember.
Is every other one of the series canned that's on the back of our card?
What do you mean?
Well, because we had a bunch of series that we put on the back of our business cards.
Oh,
I
yeah.
need to redo a couple armchair philosophy things.
Oh, yeah.
And I can make videos for that eventually. I just
Yeah.
have to get around to writing some things and finishing what I'm reading.
Right, but I think it's about time we hop right into the reading.
Yep, we might as well. I have the King James Version of the Bible.
I have the English Standard Version.
And we also have the Oxford Companion of the Bible.
And the Old Testament Survey. From
And
New
the Holy
Interpreter's Bible.
Scriptures according to some Jews.
Yeah, and the new King James Version.
Yep.
So we got plenty of versions here.
Wonderful.
All right, so today's story is going to be about the Ark, and I don't ever want to bring around my huge commentary on the Bible because it's just fucking enormous. It's Erdman's commentary. And it's
We
just,
got bookshelf space for it
I know,
now.
I know. It's just a hassle to bring places, and I use it sometimes at home. But I did take pictures of the relevant parts, and I read through them. So we are going to have some decent commentary, I think.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
So let's hop right into chapter 13.
Chapter 13. And David consulted with the captains of thousands and hundreds, and with every leader. And David said unto all the congregation of Israel, If it seem good to you, and that it be of the Lord our God, let us send abroad unto our brethren everywhere, that are left in all the land of Israel, and with them also to the priests and Levites, which are in their cities and suburbs, that they may gather themselves unto us, and let us bring again the ark of our God to us, for we inquired not at it in the days of Saul. And all the congregation said that they would do so, for the thing was right in the eyes of all the people.
Here's something interesting. So there is a note here. So then let us bring again the ark of our God to us, for we did not seek it in the days of Saul. The word it there, and my footnote says, or him. We did not seek him in the days of Saul.
That's interesting.
That is interesting.
So, David gathered all Israel together from Shihor of Egypt, even unto the entering of Hamath, to bring the ark of God from Kirjath-Jearim. And David went up, and all Israel, to Baalah, that is to Kirjath-Jearim, which belonged to Judah, to bring up thence the ark of God the Lord, that dwelleth between the cherubim, whose name is called on it.
So, an interesting thing here, when David is, assembling all of Israel. Now mine says from the Nile of Egypt. So it's not like, it's not exact on where it is. But remember, previously, his reign was from, I believe, Dan to Beersheba. But now this is expanding way further.
Yes.
In the Chronicles version.
Well, he's calling up all of the Jews everywhere?
All of the Israelites, yeah.
Okay. And I think this supports your Yahweh statue on the ark thing.
Yeah, enthroned above the cherubim.
Yeah.
Sits enthroned, yeah. So there is a good amount of textual evidence, I think, to support that. Some people call me crazy, but I think Thomas Rower makes a pretty good argument.
And they carried the ark of God in a new cart out of the house of Abinadab. And Uzzah and Ahio drove the cart. And David and all Israel played before God with their might, and with singing, and with harps, and with psalteries, and with timbrels, and with cymbals, and with trumpets.
And this is when David was all dancing and shit.
Yes.
So now there is going to be a little thing about that when we get to it. But and David and all Israel were celebrating before God with all their might, and then I have with song and lyres and harps. So I think it's
so a bunch of instruments.
Makes a little more sense than the KJV in that sense.
Yeah, the trumpets.
Yeah.
Just trumpets?
Yes.
That's pretty boring.
Just those good old trumpets.
And when they came unto the threshing floor of Chidon, Uzzah put forth his hand to hold the ark, for the oxen stumbled. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against Uzzah, and he smote him, because he put his hand to the ark.
Remember when we were covering this section back in 2 Samuel, I think?
Yeah.
Or no,
it was somewhere back there.
Yeah. So I think it was it in 2 Samuel? I don't remember where it was. So when we were covering the Uzzah doing something to the statue, and I forget what chapter that was, but that was actually part of the commentary here, and I'm actually trying to find it, because there was a different reason for the death of Uzzah than what we have just discussed.
All right, and there he died before God was how that verse ends.
Okay. All right. The detail of the story implies knowledge of 2 Samuel 6, on which this account is closely based. The divine title in 13:6 went up to Bala, I think? No. What's the divine title here? I'm not even quite sure. But it says the divine title in 13:6 is new, but the Hebrew text is obscure, and its original form much disputed. The chronicler simply records without additional comment or explanation the feature of the story which will most disturb modern readers, the death of Uzzah, attributed to divine displeasure against what is at most a very trivial offense. Various proposals have been made concerning the earlier significance of this story, but for the chronicler, there was clearly an important and potentially dangerous unpredictability about God.
Well, that's true, but another thing I'd like to point out is that when they smelted down the ark,
you would assume...
Wouldn't you think some bad shit would happen?
Yeah, but no, at that point, God had just given up.
This is during God's abandonment phase. He's being that teen who's like, yeah, fuck you guys.
Yeah, one of those. Sponsored by, not sponsored by Clear Mountain Dew, the Mountain Dew that you can see through.
What are they supposed to do if they, break a wheel on their cart?
Let the statue be destroyed, but then probably God will smite them for that too.
Just get smit. Whatever you do.
Smoted.
See, I assume what it
It's not a
actually
word.
means here is that this ox fell. Uzzah goes up to try and stop the ark from falling.
Yes.
And then the ark falls on top of him and kills him.
Yeah, that's what I thought happened.
Yeah,
And
that's my assumption.
it's not just your assumption. I kind of recall one of the versions previously talking about this story already, because this is a retelling.
Yeah.
I think he did get crushed by it. I think that's how he died, is he was crushed by the ark.
No, God killed him. God was mad.
I mean, in this version,
Maybe
it's
the
just
Yahweh
God.
statue fell off and hit him in the head and he died.
Maybe it did, but it was God.
Well, then they would say it was God.
Talk about them trying to play up God for random chance. Jesus.
And David was displeased because the Lord had made a breach upon Uzzah. Wherefore that place is called Perazuzah.
Which
to this day.
apparently means the breaking out against Uzzah.
Ooh. And David was afraid of God that day, saying, how shall I bring the ark of God home to me? So David brought not the ark home to himself to the city of David, but carried it aside into the house of Obed-Edom the Gittite. And the ark of God remained with the family of Obed-Edom in his house 3 months, and the Lord blessed the house of Obed-Edom and all that he had. And that's the end of chapter 13.
And there, I do have some notes on Obed-Edom. If I can pull it up here. Okay. So the interesting thing about the name of Obed-Edom. You know what? I'm probably going to pull it up a bit later, probably after this chapter. All right. So
If you're enjoying the stream so far, be sure to give us a like, subscribe, comment, share us with all of your friends, family, neighbors, ex-wives, strange children.
Especially those ex-wives.
Especially those ex-wives.
You know they need to read the Bible.
And if you download all of the Milwaukee Atheist stuff and put it on a hard drive, you can put it in a golden ark and worship it, I guess.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So
Maybe
let's
wait till episode 100 and we'll release our limited edition DVD set.
Yeah.
All right. So
with
let's
commentary.
With commentary for every episode. Commentary on commentary.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So let's hop right into chapter 14. And Hiram, king of Tyre, sent messengers to David, and cedar trees, also masons and carpenters, to build a house for him. And David knew that the Lord had established him as king over Israel. And this is after having a brief falling out with God.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that his kingdom was highly exalted for the sake of his people Israel. And David took more wives in Jerusalem, and David fathered more sons and daughters. These are the names of the children born to him in Jerusalem: Shammua, Shobab, Nathan, Solomon, Ibhar, Elishua, Elpalet, Noga, Nepeg, Japhia, Elishama, Beliadiah, and Eliphalet.
Wow.
Wow, these fucking names.
Great.
And there is actually a note about the name here of Beliadiah.
Beliadiah.
Yeah. So I'm not quite sure how it would be in Hebrew, but this is what Erdman's commentary says about it. Where the hell is it? Okay. One difference when talking about the variants is more than variant spelling. Eliadiah of 3:8 is here Beliadiah. If this reflects a reliable ancient tradition, it shows that David, like Saul, felt no compunction in giving his child a Baal compounded name, which is just interesting. And that was what did he say? Did I just say 3:6 or 3:7? Right?
Yeah, you just finished 3:7.
Yeah. No, when yeah, okay. So in 3:7, no, sorry, in 3:8, it's Eliadiah.
Rachel wants to know what website you got that off of.
Oh, that's not a website. That's Erdman's Bible commentary.
Yeah.
A physical, large, heavy version.
You just wait till we get to the Zohar.
Oh yeah, that'll be a thing.
Yep.
Alright, where was I? The kids. Okay. When the Philistines heard that David had been anointed king over all Israel, all the Philistines went up to search for David. But David heard of it and went out against them. Now the Philistines had come and made a raid in the valley of Rephaim. I think that's how you pronounce it. And David inquired of God, "Shall I go up against the Philistines?" The answer is probably yes, because it's usually yes.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Will you
Well,
give
a lot
them-
of cultures would have you inquire of
Sure,
their
yeah,
gods.
yeah. That good old divine justification.
Yeah, before you go out.
Yeah. Will you give them into my hand? And the Lord said to him, "Go up, and I will give them into your hand." And he went up to Baal Perazim, and David struck them down there. And David said, God has broken through my enemies by my hand like a bursting flood. Therefore, the name of that place is called Baal Perazim.
I assume that has something to do with water or a flood.
Probably. I'm guessing just from the ways, these names have been...
Zim is air, is a prefix for air. I know that. I don't know... Baal, you guys know Baal is usually...
Baal would be the Lord.
Lord of... And Hera, I'm not sure. Hera is...
Perazim.
Hera?
Perazim.
Okay, yeah. That's totally different.
And they left their gods there. And David gave command, and they were burned. And the Philistines yet again made a raid in the valley. And when David again inquired of God, God said to him, You shall not go up after them. Go around and come against them opposite the balsam trees.
Mulberry tree is in mine.
I don't know what either of these are. So
all around the
Balsam?
mulberry bush is about mulberry trees.
I don't know what either of these trees are.
They're nothing important. Trust me.
And when you hear the sound of marching in the tops of the balsam trees, then go out to battle. For God has gone out before you to strike down the army of the Philistines. And David did as God commanded him, and they struck down the Philistine army from Gibeon to Gezer. And the fame of David went out into all lands, and the Lord brought the fear of him upon all nations.
Wow.
Which is not what happened in reality.
All of them.
He was a fairly successful king, but his reign was nowhere near as destructive as this.
No.
Yeah, or
Well, he did have his tens of thousands.
Of course, we can't forget about his tens of thousands. And these were some pretty short chapters for now. But that is the end of chapter 14.
Holy shit, you weren't kidding. That was really short.
These are some very short chapters. Don't worry, the next ones will be longer.
Guys, we're having a problem.
What is it?
We're having a problem.
Oh,
Oh man, something's wrong.
Something is happening.
Oh.
Oh shit. Shit.
Behold, I am your Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and I want to let all you heathens and sinners know support this wonderful episode of Atheist Sunday School. Lawrence and Reuben try their very best to bring you the true glory of the Bible, and they need your help. They have provided links to their Patreon page and other social media just for you. Once again, my name is Jesus Christ, and this is Milwaukee Atheists. The Lord is with them. God bless.
Oh,
Wow.
Wow, that was so awe-inspiring and incredible.
Jesus gave me the power.
You got the touch?
Yeah.
You got the touch.
Okay, we don't want to get copyright straight.
That's it. That's all we can afford.
Gave me the ability to
To touch
find
things.
the right portion of this commentary that I needed. It's essential that the Levites carry the ark in 15:2, and we're gonna get to that.
Jonah, if all of them includes the Native Americans, the Mormons would say it does.
Yeah, they would. So it's essential that the Levites carry the ark. For failure to honor this requirement had led to the death of Uzzah. The bringing up of the ark is, however, the responsibility of all Israel. And the name Obed-Edom is a potential source of confusion. In addition to the Gittite, at whose house the ark had stayed, and we just covered that, there appear to be 2 or 3 more with the same name here, and we're gonna get to that in just a second. So it's a very confusing little portion. There is a clear tension here, not least because the name seems more likely to be Edomite or Philistine, because Gittite means from Gath, a Philistine city, than Israelite. Perhaps a family of that name was prominent in the Chronicles' own time and was given a special role in his lists.
Incredible.
I know, amazing.
With that being said, chapter 15.
Yes.
And David made him houses in the city of David, and prepared a place for the ark of God, and pitched it for a tent. You know, it's like Stalingrad, the city of David.
Okay.
Why is it like Stalingrad?
The city of Stalin, or like
Oh.
Leningrad.
Yeah,
Oh,
sure.
Yeah, I guess, but David is pretty generic. You know? I mean, I don't know if Stalin is a
probably-
generic Russian name.
Probably
No.
David was not as generic in this time.
Yeah, no, he was
in
the
this
only-
continuity. He might have been the only David.
It's the only one that we've heard of.
Yeah, the only one.
Fair enough.
Whatever.
It's
Yeah.
just that I have an uncle, you know.
Yeah,
Wow, you have an
wow.
uncle.
His name's
Wow, amazing. Chris has an uncle.
Wow, and
Guys.
I've met a
Fuck, that's-
Mexican guy named
that's-
Jesus.
Yeah, I've worked with
Wow.
one.
That's enough from the peanut gallery, Chris.
All right.
So let's go on.
Then David said, "None ought to carry the ark of God but the Levites. For them hath the Lord chosen to carry the ark of God, and to minister unto him forever." And David gathered all Israel together to Jerusalem to bring up the ark of the Lord unto his place.
Which, as I had just mentioned, one says that the Levites have to carry it, but then it was all of Israel. Yeah.
Which he had prepared for it.
Yep.
And David assembled the children of Aaron and the Levites. Of the sons of Kohath, Uriel, the chief, and his brethren, 120. Of the sons of Merari, Asaiah, the chief, and his brethren, 220.
Oh, jeez.
Of the sons of Gershom, Joel, the chief, and his brethren, 130. Of the sons of Elizaphan, Shemaiah, the chief, and his brethren, 200. Of the sons of Hebron, Eliel, the chief, and his brethren, 80. Of the sons of Uzziel, Aminadab, the chief, and his brethren, 112. And David called for Zadok and Abiathar the priests, and for the Levites, for Uriel, Asaiah, and Joel, Shemaiah, and Eliel, and Aminadab, and said unto them, Ye are the chief of the fathers of the Levites. Sanctify yourselves, both ye and your brethren, that ye may bring up to the ark of the Lord God of Israel into the place that I have prepared for it.
So now these guys have to consecrate themselves because that's what Levites did.
Yes. For ye did it not at the first. The Lord our God made a breach upon us, for that we sought him not after the due order. So the priests and the Levites sanctified themselves to bring up the ark of the Lord God of Israel. And the children of the Levites bare the ark of God upon their shoulders, with the staves thereon, as Moses commanded according to the word of the Lord. And David spake to the chief of the Levites to appoint their brethren.
And
to
this
be-
is also one of those things that shows that there was influence from the Torah. Yeah.
to be singers with instruments of music, psalteries and harps and cymbals, sounding by lifting up the voice with joy. So the Levites appointed Heman, the son of Joel, and of his brethren Asaph, the son of Berechiah, and the sons of Merari and their brethren, Ethan, the son of Cushiah, and with them their brethren the second degree, Zechariah,
What is that? The second degree?
their brethren of the second degree.
Lawrence, do you have something different?
Yes, I do. And with them, their brothers of the second order.
Oh, they're brothers-in-law.
Okay.
I bet.
Or it could be like once removed or some bullshit with
It's-
cousins.
How
I
could
don't
you be
think
a
it is,
brother
no.
once removed?
No,
Chris?
but they considered cousins of a second brother can be more generic. Remember?
Well, yes.
Yeah, they don't
And
necessarily.
I have nothing on this. There is nothing
No
in the
commentary.
commentary.
I'm gonna go with you're probably right that it's brother-in-law, but keep in mind that it could be cousin once removed.
All right. Zechariah, Ben, and Jaziel, and Shemiramoth, and Jehiel, and Uni, Eliab, and Benaiah, and Maaseiah, and Mattathiah, and Eliphalah.
Montefiah.
Mattathiah, and Eliphalah, and Mikneiah, and Obed-Edom, and Jael, the porters.
Yeah, so those last two are gatekeepers. I have.
Okay.
And remember, this is this seems like a totally different guy than the last Obed-Edom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the singers, Heman, Asaph, and Ethan, were appointed to sound with cymbals of brass, and Zechariah and Aziel and Shemiramoth and Jehiel and Uni and Eliab and Maaseiah and Benaiah with psalteries on Alamoth, and Mattithiah and Eliphalah and Mikneiah and Obed-Edom and Jael and Azaziah with harps on the Sheminith to excel.
I have a work to lead with lyres.
Lyres are harps.
Yeah.
According to the Sheminith.
Well, lyres are harps, period.
Okay, well, I get that.
Yeah. And Chenaniah, chief of the Levites, was for his song. He instructed about the song because he was skillful. And Berechiah and Elkanah were doorkeepers for the ark. And Shebaniah and Jehoshaphat and Nathaniel and Amasai and Zechariah and Benaiah and Eleazar, the priests, did blow at the trumpets before the ark of God. And Obed-Edom and Jehiah were doorkeepers for the ark.
So there is a... Okay. You know, it's interesting. This says Jehiah and Obed-Edom were gatekeepers for the ark. But the other verse said Obed-Edom and Giel.
That's true. There are within just like a couple verses having contradictions now.
Now, and I'm not sure if that's a contradiction or just a different...
Obed-Edom.
That's his other name.
So, David and the elders of Israel and the captains over thousands went to bring up the ark of the covenant out of the Lord out to the house of Obed-Edom with joy, and it came to pass...
Well, this is the other Obed-Edom.
It came to pass when God helped the Levites that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord, that they offered 7 bullocks and 7 rams. And David was clothed with a robe of fine linen, and all the Levites that bear the ark, and the singers, and Chenaniah, the master of the song with the singers. David also had upon him an ephod of linen. Thus all Israel brought up the ark of the covenant of the Lord with shouting and with sounds of the cornet and with trumpets and cymbals, making a noise with psalteries and harps. And it came to pass, as the ark of the covenant of the Lord came to the city of David, that Michal, the daughter of Saul, looking out a window, saw King David dancing and playing, and she despised him in her heart.
So,
And that's the end of chapter 15.
Do you remember which chapter it was when we were talking about the first time when David was dancing in front of the ark? Do you remember what chapter that was?
I don't
No.
recall. I thought he was naked, though.
He was naked, yes.
But this one says they were all in linen.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is he was naked in the first one.
That's
but
for sure.
in this retelling, I saw this. I was looking some stuff up about this earlier, and there was this apologist who was like, "Well, he wasn't naked because see, it says right here he was wearing clothes," and I'm like, "You can't do that. One was a source of the other. Like you can't do that. Sorry, apologist. No, those are two different things.
One
the
thing
chronicler wanted to accomplish something else.
Yeah. I wanted to point out that if you mistake your names as frequently as they do in the Bible, that, and you have so many names, and it's supposed to be significant. Each one of these is supposed to be chronicling their lives, that they existed. However, they get their names wrong all the time, and they mix people up all the time. How is it supposed to be significant then?
Well,
It really, just to me, I'm just stating that it loses its significance when they do that.
I mean, I think when you're listing a bunch of names, it's hard not to lose significance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, 2 Samuel 6. Thank you, Jonah. So I will. Actually, can you look that up?
I'll,
See how it's
I'll
described?
look at 2 Samuel 6. You can.
Okay. All right. So let's hop right into the. The show is going by pretty fast today because the first two chapters were so short. But this is going to be the last chapter for the day, and it is kind of long. So it is chapter 16. Excuse me. So let's hop right into it. And they brought in the ark of God and set it inside the tent that David had pitched for it. And they offered burnt offerings and peace offerings before God. And when David had finished offering the burnt offerings and the peace offerings, he blessed all the people in the name of the Lord and distributed to all Israel, both men and women, to each a loaf of bread, a portion of meat, and a cake of raisins. Then he appointed some of the Levites as ministers before the ark of the Lord to invoke, to thank, and to praise the Lord, the God of Israel. Asaph was the chief, and second to him were Zechariah, Jeiel, Shemiramoth, Jehiel. Okay, so they are two different people. Jeiel and Jehiel are two different people.
Yeah, so why wasn't one listed before, do you think?
I don't know. And why was the other one listed with
Exactly.
Obed-Edom? I don't know.
It's bizarre, man.
Yeah, and
In chapter 6, verse 20 of 2 Samuel, it says, Then David returned to bless his household, and Michal, the daughter of Saul, came out to meet David, and said, How glorious was the king of Israel today, who uncovered himself today in the eyes of the handmaids of his servants, as one of the vain fellows shamelessly uncovereth himself.
Yeah. So he's naked.
Yeah.
Then I have some more names here. Mattathiah, Eliab, Benaiah, Obed-Edom, there you go, and Jehiel. Jael. So are there two Jaels? And a Jehiel and an Obed-Edom?
Jeez.
And they were to play harps and lyres. Asaph was to sound the cymbals, and Benaiah and Jahaziel, the priests, were to blow trumpets regularly before the ark of the covenant of God. Then,
Also, chapter 6 in 2 Samuel, verse 14, David was dancing, but he had, underwear on.
Yeah, I think they mentioned he had a cloth.
It
or a
says
loincloth.
he was girded with a linen ephod. So he had, a loincloth or something.
Okay.
But that's it.
But if he uncovered himself like the way, how to say vain people uncovered themselves?
Yeah.
Someone who's showing off their body. I don't know that that's naked necessarily, but it could be.
It also, I'm looking over it on here, and I am not seeing. First of all, it's it doesn't really talk about the Levites in the same way.
Oh, so they weren't the ones specifically designated. I mean they were earlier, but
they have been on and off.
I mean, at least in Leviticus, they were the ones that had to rule everything there.
Yeah.
But that was written afterwards.
It also says that David sacrificed oxen. It doesn't say.
Oh yeah, it said who was sacrificing the oxen here, because I do remember just reading over that. And because God helped the Levites who were carrying the Ark of the Covenant of the Lord, they sacrificed 7 bulls and 7 rams.
Yeah, this one
says David did it.
Says that he sacrificed oxen and fatlings, but it says he for
right,
David.
Yeah.
It also doesn't have it doesn't say anything about the Levites getting together and
doing shit.
Yeah, this is it's a development of the priesthood during the time of the chronicler. It had already developed at that point.
Yes.
All right.
But
anyways.
if it's telling the same story. it
Well,
should-
yeah. Then on that day, David first appointed that thanksgiving be sung to the Lord by Asaph and his brothers. And here is a song that I shall not actually sing.
Hooray!
Oh,
Do, do,
give,
do, 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 do.
We didn't start the fire?
oh, give thanks to the Lord, call upon his name, make known his deeds among the peoples. Sing to him, sing praises to him, tell of all his wondrous works. Glory in his name. Let the hearts of those who seek the Lord rejoice. Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek his presence continually.
Seek his face continually.
Does it say face?
Yes.
Interesting. That's a very interesting translation.
Find his face.
Remember the wondrous works that he has done, his miracles, and the judgments he uttered. O offspring of Israel, his servant, children of Jacob, his chosen ones. He is the Lord our God. His judgments are in all the earth. Remember his covenant forever, the word that he commanded for 1,000 generations. The covenant that he made with Abraham, his sworn promise to Isaac, which he confirmed to Jacob as a statute, to Israel as an everlasting covenant, saying, to you I will give the land of Canaan as your portion for an inheritance. When you were few in number, of little account, and sojourners in it, wandering from nation to nation, from one kingdom to another people, he allowed no one to oppress them. That's not true. He rebuked kings on their account, saying, touch not my anointed ones, do my prophets no harm. Sing to the Lord, all the earth. Tell of his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory among the nations. His marvelous...
Mine says declare his glory among the heathen.
Ooh. His marvelous works among all the peoples. And presumably people there is supposed to mean just the Hebrews, just the Israelites.
Well, mine says.
Because he didn't really do marvelous works among
Mine
other
says
people.
declare his glory among the heathen, his marvelous works among all nations.
Okay.
Well, all right.
For great is the Lord, and greatly to be praised, and he is to be feared above all gods, for all the gods of the peoples are worthless idols. But the Lord made the heavens. Splendor and majesty are before him. Strength and joy are in his place.
Wait. So he's literally like, yeah, their gods, all that stuff is bullshit, but our God
Made heaven. Ascribe to the Lord, O families of the peoples. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord the glory due his name. Bring an offering and come before him. Worship the Lord in his splendor of holiness. Tremble before him, all the earth. Yes, the world is established. It shall never be moved. Let the heavens... By the way, it moves all the fucking time. Let the heavens be glad, and let the earth rejoice, and let them say among the nations, the Lord reigns.
Well, no, it doesn't move because you see, the earth is flat and in a dome.
Of course, the good old
Flat dome.
fucking what's the
Flat.
firmament?
Yeah, the firmament.
Yeah.
It's a flat dome. And there's an ice wall that keeps all the water.
Yeah, it's gotta because not gravity.
It's buoyancy, dude.
Oh yeah, buoyancy and density.
God works in mysterious ways, okay?
Let the sea roar and all that fills it. Let the field exult and everything in it. Then shall the trees of the forest sing for joy before the Lord, for he comes to judge the earth. Oh, give thanks to the Lord, for he is good, for his steadfast love endures forever. And then there's another note here.
Mine says mercy instead of steadfast love.
Okay. Then verse 35 says, say also. So it ends there, but then this is just more of the stuff that is to be sung. And also, this next part. Save us, O God of our salvation, and gather and deliver us among the nations, that we may give thanks to your holy name and glory in your praise. Blessed be the Lord, the God of Israel, from everlasting to everlasting. Then all the people said, Amen, and praise the Lord.
Wow.
Well, we don't have any beholds, so that's pretty good.
Amen.
Amen.
Well, maybe we'll have amens, because
Maybe.
that might actually start happening.
Eventually. So David left Asaph and his brothers there before the ark of the covenant of the Lord to minister regularly before the ark as each day required. And also Obed-Edom and his 68 brothers, while Obed-Edom, the son of Jeduthun, and Joash were to be gatekeepers. Okay. So he's got some sons that are going to be gatekeepers.
And they're also named that. They're all named that.
Wait, hold on. Is Obed-Edom and Hosa, were they the new gatekeepers? I have no fucking idea what's even going on anymore.
Yeah, these
Who are the
gatekeepers
fucking
make no
gatekeepers?
sense. No wonder the ark got sacked.
Oh my god, no
They
wonder.
can't keep track of their gatekeepers.
Oh my god, this is
You
horrible.
just walk in there and take it.
And he left Zadok the priest and his brothers, the priests, before the tabernacle of the Lord in the high place that was at Gibeon, to offer burnt offerings to the Lord on the altar of burnt offering, regularly morning and evening, to do all that is written in the law of the Lord that he commanded Israel. With them...
Wait.
What?
Do they mean Israel, the nation? Or
The people.
Israel,
The people?
that guy?
Oh,
Because
Oh, man.
Israel was a character.
yes. It probably the nation, I'm going to say. Yeah.
I'm going to say it's the people. Bam. Ooh,
Okay,
take that.
That's fine. With them were Heman and Jeduthun, and the rest of those chosen and expressly named to give thanks to the Lord, for his steadfast love endures forever. Does yours say mercy there again?
Yes.
Okay. Heman and Jeduthun had trumpets and cymbals for the music and instruments for sacred song. The sons of Jeduthun were appointed to the gate. Okay, so now the sons...
Who's in charge of the
Alright,
gate?
So mine says,
we need a list of people who are in charge of the gates.
I think that they've done this so that no one took full blame when it was taken.
mine says in verse 38, also the sons of Jeduthun and Hosa to be porters. And
It's the gatekeepers.
so
Does yours have
here,
anything about Obed-Edom in 38?
yeah, it says
Okay.
Obed-Edom with their brethren 68, Obed-Edom also the sons of Jeduthun and Hosa. And then later on in here, when it's talking about the sons of Jeduthun being porters, it's just calling back to the
Okay.
earlier verse,
Okay.
38 to 42.
Then all the people departed, each to his house, and David went home to bless his household.
And that's it for today. Wow.
Oh my God, that
Incredibly short.
That was incredibly short.
48 minutes. It's not that bad.
Yeah, I'm gonna see.
Hey, we'd fit on TV, I guess.
I guess we would, with commercial breaks and all that good stuff.
Well, now for our sponsors.
Okay, I'm gonna.
We don't have any.
I'm gonna try to pull up something about this chapter that we just read, because I'm sure
I
there's.
like Toppers. Can we get sponsored by Toppers?
We could try. Probably not, but we could try.
You've worked there, haven't
Yeah.
you? Yeah. We should get sponsored by Toppers. Then we could have free pizza delivered every time. Look, we should make a deal with them, right? Where we have a pizza right here in the middle of the
And every
table.
time we say "behold," we eat a slice.
Yeah.
A whole slice?
And it's free advertisement for them.
I guess.
I mean, it's not free. They have to give us a pizza every
You know,
Sunday.
no company likes to give free advertising. I'm saying.
What's 8 through 22? Okay, so that's the part of the song that we just read here. 16, 8 to 22 are based on Psalms 105, 1 through 15, and 16, 23 to 33 on Psalm 96. While 16, 34 to 36, which were those last few ones, may reflect particular psalms, like Psalms 106:1 and 47 to 48, or may simply be an instance of the use of psalm-type language without a specific reference.
You know
Hold
what?
on, there are minor but unimportant differences in detail between the text of the Psalms and that found here. It is striking that the section of Psalm 105 quoted is, can you pull up 105, Psalm 105, 1 through 15? All right. And I'm going to keep reading here. Quoted is confined to that concerned with the patriarchs, who, like the Second Temple community, were, quote, few in number, of little account, and strangers in the land. The mighty deliverance of Israel by God at the Exodus is perhaps deliberately not mentioned. The chronicler's community were not to expect that kind of transformation and their condition. Psalm 96 is a hymn in praise of Yahweh as king, which is quoted almost verbatim, though place, in quotes, in 1627, maybe a deliberate modification of sanctuary in Psalm 96:6, since the Jerusalem sanctuary was not yet built in David's time. So I found something useful there.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that there's a lot of parallels that you can draw between different verses in different books of the Bible.
Yes,
But there's also a limited number of things that you can say about the content of the laws of Moses.
sure.
So you're bound to get repetition at some point.
Right. And the thing is not about being bound to being repetitive, but it's about when you have direct verbatim things, and then more stuff on top of that, he was talking about Psalm 105, right? Mm-hmm. If so much of that is verbatim in these sections, there's some influence there.
No, I mean, there's
that
definitely
kind of
influence.
stuff isn't separate. And actually, I was arguing with a Christian on campus about
which one?
Not Penn Guy.
It wasn't Penn Guy. Who was it though?
They were at this table.
Oh, were they giving away the books? Did you get a copy of Mere Christianity from him?
Which ones? No, it was right above the. It was in the Union, and they were upstairs. Right. Next to the food court. Right up the stairs.
Yeah, I've seen God Guys there before.
I mean, I saw a different group.
I think I saw that one too. I didn't talk to them though.
Oh,
I had to get to class.
Well, I got a free book, so.
Free book.
Wow. So, anyways, I was talking to them, and they were, very much the kind of people that are like, liberal scholarship, boo, and so I was saying that
Look, we can't accept what any scholars say unless they have all the same opinions we already have.
Of course, yeah. No, I mean, hey, minds can be changed. I've had my mind changed on things, so it's So, anyways, I was talking to them about the golden calf.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, do you think the golden calf thing in Exodus actually happened? They said yes. I said, okay, I believe that I can demonstrate that it didn't happen using the Bible alone. So I pulled up, 1 Kings 12 with Jeroboam and pointed out the near a dozen parallels. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, this is too close. Some of these things are verbatim. That can't be an accident. One has to be based on the other in the view of history. because it would just be unreasonable.
Well, of course, they would just say that the one that happens later on is
Right,
based on
yeah.
Yahweh.
They were like, of course he copied, of course Jeroboam copied Aaron. And I'm like, why would he do that? He saw exactly what happened to the people, and why would he repeat the exact same thing the people said? Like, that would just be a horrible decision. That doesn't seem like, okay, if I read that, if I was reading something I thought was credible,
Yeah.
and then okay, so if I read a paper on, how vaccines save lives, and I think it's credible, why would I be like, you know what, I'm just not going to vaccinate?
Because you don't want to have your life saved.
The more you
I can
know.
get vaccinated and kill myself. Plenty of people do that.
Why would you get vaccinated if you're just going to kill yourself?
I don't know.
So that some kid doesn't get a disease?
Yes.
Oh, great.
Care about
Your
others.
rotting body is not going to carry
Herd
any
mentality.
diseases that
He's
anyone
very
could get.
conscientious
that
about
probably
his
wasn't
corpse.
that probably wasn't a great analogy. But
I didn't think it would be.
The whole point is that would just be a stupid move by Jeroboam. So I was arguing with them about this, and no matter how many pieces of evidence I could pull up and how much archaeological evidence I brought up, like about how there was, a bull statuette found, and when they excavated around the area, they uncovered an entire open sanctuary. And that, along with some theophoric names, were indicative of Yahweh being worshipped as a bull at some point. And they were like, no, Yahweh was never worshipped as a bull. And I was like, but first of all, Jeroboam is worshiping Yahweh as a bull. And they're like, no, it's not Yahweh. And I'm like, he literally addresses him as the God that brought them out of Egypt. That can only be Yahweh.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, it's not. And I'm like, what the fuck?
It's one of those other gods that they admit exist.
It was infuriating.
Well, with that being said,
Yeah, I'm sorry for the short episode, guys. This is a lot
That's
shorter
an
than I
hour.
thought.
it's
Yeah,
an hour long,
yeah.
but we will see you.
Hold on. Before we see you next Sunday, if you guys like what we do, consider becoming a patron.
Or,
Checking out the website, going to our Facebook, Twitter, all links in the description.
and if you don't do any of those things, Lawrence will cry himself to sleep.
I will be very sad.
Yeah. It'll break his heart.
If you don't like or subscribe, these guys will be frozen in a terrifying position forever. Go ahead and freeze in a terrifying position.
Yeah, that happens. See you next Sunday.
See you next time.